Now this is a video I'm super excited about. I have tested all of these drivers individually, but it's now time to see, out of this range here, what is the best anti-slice forgiving driver of 2024. Now, before you get on at me in the comments, there's a reason why I have these four drivers. For example, Taylormade and Callaway with their Taylormade Qi10 Max and the Paradigm AI Smoke Max, they have been pushing them this year. These are the drivers which I'm going to say have almost changed the narrative of these two brands in the sense of more forgiveness rather than outright distance. And then interestingly, let me show you these two. The Ping and the Mizuno, if I can get the head cover off here, this is really interesting. These are already part of pre-existing lines. Mizuno last year did the ST-230, now they've got the ST-230 Max. And Ping last year already did a Ping G430. But now, look at this on the edge, we've got the Max G430 10K. So that's why I'm putting these four up against each other. Now I'm gonna do this test differently. We're gonna hit 3 golf balls. I'm gonna try and hit one out the middle, try being the keyword, then one out the toe and one out the heel. I've got my data, I've got my balls ready, so I can tell you exactly how far these balls are going. I'm gonna do it also with a fairway. So let's together, right? We'll use this marker you can see here, this black box on the right, and on the left here, the 150-yard marker. It's a tight fairway, but one I think we should use so we can put it really to the test. Now the first one I'm going to use here is the Ping G430 10K Max. Now this is an overall much bigger profile. We have a fixed weight in the back of this golf club, which is much heavier than the Ping G430 model. And overall, the profile of this is like someone stood, right? Someone stood on a Ping G430. When you place this one down at the ground, come have a look at this. You can see here, you've got sort of the carbon fly sort of crown here blending into the front, and you can almost see where that changes from the carbon sort of dashed area into the front with the very, very iconic fins on top of the golf club, which we've sort of come to expect, haven't we, in most of the new Ping models. Now, head profile looks big there, but right, wait till I hold this up now and show you this. Overall, look how big that is, not only from sort of toe to heel, but also bottom to top. Now let's hear the sound, let's test it, let's see how far it goes. Off center hits, straight hits, let's go. Now when I was testing this driver on its own, I was really impressed with it. But it's one thing testing it on its own, how does it compare to its competitors in the market right now? Now, interestingly, I know this is going to sound weird. I said this when I was trying it originally. So I'm going to try and go with the center hit first. We've got our fairway. I'm going to really put that intent into that and try my best to hit these as if I was out on the course. What a noise that was. It's awful, isn't it? It's better than it has been in the past, but it sounds a lot different out here than it does inside. Straight out the middle, let's have a look at this here. 279. We cannot grumble at that one, can we? 279. That was the middle hit. Right, I'm going to set this one now out of the toe. Let's see how this performs. Now, Ping say this is their largest head to date. And essentially, when you make the head bigger, it becomes more forgiving. It also gives you a better chance of hitting the ball straighter. Now they do have an SFT version, but that came out last year. This is their new one, and we're putting it to the test because a bigger head means straighter shots. So, out the toe here, let's see how this one flies. I'm addressing out the toe, let's see if we can get it. Still got the same fairway. Oh, that's gone left. It was out the toe. Really out the toe, but it's flown. It's what you'd expect, I guess. You can see there, out the toe, that club there. Didn't actually fly as low and as left as I thought, if I'm honest. Yes, it missed the fairway, but not by a long way. Same distance. Pretty similar. How good's that? Okay, let's now hit one out that heel. I was impressed by that. I didn't get that sort of twisting feeling as I hit, and usually when you do whack it out the toe, that does happen. Okay, here we go, out the heel. So we hit the fair on the straight one. That other one missed it, the one out the toe. This one's out the heel. It's mad. Addressing it where am I addressing it? Oh, that was so far out the heel. But you know what? That is a fairway found. Absolutely. So far out the heel and fairway found. Have a look at this. There's a drop off in distance and I'll show you that. But we're right out of there. Right out of that sort of heeled area. 261. So in terms of forgiveness, it's great on those long hits out the middle, but actually, out the heel, 261 distance, and it hit the fairway. It's pretty good, right? What you'll notice with all these drivers is that they have a much bigger overall profile. They have a fixed weight in the back of the head. Now, this weight tends to be heavier than all the other models that are in the range. And this is no different here in this model with the Mizuno ST-Max, and it's the ST-230 Max. We've got a 55 gram weight in the back of this club, making it more forgiving, increasing the MOI. And what is different to the other models, in the sense of the other Mizuno models, is this chamber here, this Cortex chamber they call it, is a lot bigger. It almost spans the back of this golf club. Really, a lot bigger there. Have a look at that there. A lot bigger. Now don't forget, I reviewed all these drivers independently, so don't forget to go and check them all out after watching this one. Now interestingly, this driver shaft is a lot longer than what I'm used to and what you'll probably be used to. It's 45 3/4 in length, and you do feel quite away from the ball, so it'll be interesting distance-wise how far this goes. So I would say we've had about 270 average with the ping. I'll be honest, I've been gaming that ping recently. Let's see how this one goes. That was a middle hit. It's a fairway finder. And that's so interesting. It's a lot flatter flight, I feel, than that ping driver. A lot more of a different sound. There you go. Middle hit, just there. That's what we want to see. I diddle middle. Distance-wise, it's a lot longer. Have a look at this. It's nearly sort of 10 yards longer, a little bit more. 288 total on the middle hit. You know what, I really love the look of this driver. It's a strange one because you wouldn't expect it from a brand like Mizuno, but it's a good one. Okay, toe and heel coming up. That was so out the toe, but look where it's gone. Look at that, 282, and that wet mark there is where I hit it. So far out the heel, so much higher, so much more spinny. You know what? 3 for 3 for the fairway though. Now a dramatic drop in distance on that hit, even more so than I would say with the ping. Look where I hit it. Can you see the T mark there? Heel. It felt like it sort of almost weird though, it sort of felt like it twisted. And that distance wise went 250 total. Now you could see that, it started to climb quite high on that hit. But you know what, I think what's the impressive thing about this is the longer shaft. It feels like it's easier to generate speed, and when you put it down, that bigger head profile looks very inviting. And what I think people will like about this is that sound difference between this driver and the ping. Now don't forget, at the end of this video, I'll tell you what my favorite one of 2024 is. Now on to one of the big hitters of the golf market, Callaway's driver. Let's have a look at this. And remember, I've reviewed all of these independently. This is the Max D, and you'll see some similar things here. It's an overall bigger head and bigger profile with that fixed back weight at the back here. And I love the detailing underneath this club, that sort of smoky carbon effect. Now, there's one thing I would say with this driver compared to the ping and the Mizuno we've tested so far, is that when I place this down at the ground, it doesn't look as Max. And what I mean by that is it's not as big looking down behind the ball. Even though it is a 460cc driver, the carbon with the offset of the mat at the front gives it that appeal of it being not as big. And I think for a looks point of view, that's going to really benefit a lot of people in the sense of we like the look of the drivers, right? We like the look of something, and if we like the look of it, we will hit it better. So we're going to hit 3 away. We'll start off with intending to hit one out the middle. Now, if you didn't check out the full review, the whole idea of this face is that it is AI inspired. It's had over 250,000 swings to develop this face for this driver. And there's multiple points on this face that essentially gives you bigger sweet spots. So let's try it out, right? Right, centered it, coming up. This one looks the best behind the ball so far. I know I said I've been using the ping, but that's because it felt the most forgiving up to this point. Right, that wasn't out the middle. That's going to qualify as our heel hit first, because that was so far out the heel. But it has hit the fairway, went very high, and 266. We'll try for the middle now. At least we hit the fairway. Very impressed with it so far in terms of all these clubs, if I'm honest. Middle hit, come on. That's a middle hit. Just got a little bit left. Missed the fairway. Look at this, you can see where I've got that, right out the middle. You can see the imprint of the T-peg here. See where it's left a bit there, the golf ball too. That went 279 there, but missed the fairway, right? Missed the fairway. Okay, now this is a draw bias model, so it is going to be a little bit more that way, but that's the idea, isn't it? But for me, I just missed that fairway. But for you as a big slicer, that could be a good option. So remember, up to this point, we've only missed 2 fairways. One with the ping that we hit out the toe, and this one where I just got it out the middle. Come on, it's now time to hit one out the toe. Out the toe for sure, but absolutely straight down that middle. And I can actually feel that club twisting in my hands. Now for me, this driver has, have a look at that there, the most offset so far. And from memory, I'm going to see a little bit of that, but I'll show you in a second what the Taylormade Qi10 Max. And essentially, the offset is where that toe is a little bit inwards of that heel. And you can see that if I hold it square, it wants to sort of sit in. Now, the Max D, which this one is, that's why, Max Draw. So very draw biased. Whereas the Mizuno and the Ping G430 Max are essentially bigger profiles. So that last one went there. 269 out of the toe, but we hit the fairway. Okay, last driver to go. Now, what do you think of how these drivers have performed so far? The Ping sounded a little bit strange, and I know they do the SFT, but we're looking at the most forgiving driver in that range. More forgiveness, less slice, surely, right? We then looked at the Mizuno, and you know what? I really love the look of that club, and which is strange because I never thought I would say that about a Mizuno driver. And the last one we hit was the Callaway, which I'll be honest, looks the best down behind the ball right now because it doesn't have that over big look, but does have the most offset because it is their Max D. Now remember, that's their most forgiving model in their range. Now we're on to the Taylormade Qi10 Max. Let's look at this. Now, when I did the review, a lot of people commented on this head cover, and you know what? I like it. What I really like is that little silver bit just there. Looks really nice, doesn't it? Really nice. Now, let's have a look at this tech here. Again, with all these models, you've got the adjustable hosel. You'll notice, though, in here, you can see the weight in the heel, which helps that face closure. That's this one just here, which essentially helps you square the face. You've got a bigger weight in the back than any others in this range in the Taylormade. And what is really interesting, and you see this when I put this down, wait to see this in a second, is this lip here. Look at that, this lip. It looks really, really big down behind the ball. Now I've actually changed the shaft out of this to what it came with, to the X-Flex, what shaft I would use. So I'll make this test as fair as possible. Now when you place this down, it looks absolutely massive. Looks like someone's gone, boom, stood on it, and it's gone big. With that blue face and that white top line, I really, really love the look of this driver. Let's see how it goes. When I tested it originally, I was seriously surprised. But how does it fare against the others? And remember, we'll go through all of the averages at the end. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to try and hit that centre first. Goes a lot higher, that one. A little bit heely, so we're going to count that one as the heel there. Just hung on to the edge of that fairway, just 255 total. That was a little bit out the heel, that. What is strange, and you get this if you ever try this driver, is because that head is bigger and it messes with your head a little bit here. Not that head, this head here it messes with. You feel like you're quite close to it, whereas the others, I don't get that feel. The sound and the feel is a lot softer than the rest. And for me, that's because this one's got that carbon face. So I hit that one round about here. You can just about see the impression, a little bit heel side. So we've got heel, let's try and find the middle, Alex, come on. There we go, out the middle. Go on, hang on to that fairway. It was a great hit, that. I'm gonna say that is on the edge, semi-rough, so just missed, but that was straight out the middle, 279 carry, not bad at all. And it amazes me, every one of these forgiving drivers just seems to not go as high as I think and fly as spinny as I think it would. The one that, well, I'll leave that for the averages to give you my overall opinion. Okay, so we've got a heel, we've got a middle, let's hit the toe. I would say this as well, this has got probably the same amount of offset as that Callaway, which for me is why it might go a little left on that centered hit. Toe hit coming. That toe's just gone absolutely perfect. Yes, it's climbed a little, but that was a seriously good hit. And finally finishing with 263. Now it's time to go through the averages. What was the average distance? How many times did it hit that fairway? And what one do I like the look of the most? Now, I absolutely loved hitting every single one of those drivers. And in the sun, right? It was so much fun. Now, if you want to look at these numbers in more depth, just pause the video now, but I'm going to swiftly go through these. So, overall longest was the Ping 273. The shortest was a Taylormade 265. The most accurate was the Mizuno. So for me, there has to be one winner here in this category. For 2024 to date, it is the Mizuno driver with the average carry of 270 and hitting 3 out of 3 fairways on and off centre hits. Well, there we have it. That is the most anti-slice forgiving driver of 2024. Thanks for watching. Don't forget there's loads coming up here, so subscribe and turn the bell for your honest reviews here on YouTube.